What's up, everybody? How's it going, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to SellerAmp Seller Hour. Going live to answer any questions you guys have about selling on Amazon. Live all over the place. So just drop any questions you guys have in the comments section. I know obviously Q4 is kind of getting ramped up here. I've been seeing some awesome results from some of you guys. Just taking advantage of all these like last minute holiday shopping opportunities, all that kind of stuff. And in case you missed the boat or that kind of thing on preparing for Q4 in time this year, I made a video on YouTube that shows you how to kind of make as much money as possible, even if you didn't prepare in time, that kind of thing. So if you're watching on the replay, go check that out. And yeah, happy Tuesday, everybody. It's a good day to be kind of getting after it, especially for those of you guys that are that already have a seller account or something like that. There's genuinely no better days of the year to sell on Amazon than the next 10 days. Pretty much December 10th to December 20th typically is the highest profit days, the highest revenue days, just the best days of the year to be an Amazon seller. So excited to see some of those results that a lot of you guys have been working really hard on Amazon. About to see some life-changing results. I know I definitely did. My first Q4 kind of taking things seriously was about 160 grand on Amazon. And still lots of people hitting awesome numbers like that. So keep me updated. Let me know if as you guys are hopping in here, how's Q4 going for you so far? Want to make a couple of you guys brag on yourselves, even if it's even if you sold your first $10. Let me know. I'm curious how things are going for y'all. What's up, Wilson? How's it going? What's up, KC? Absolutely. Sweet. And yeah, for those of you guys that are hopping on, let me know what questions you guys have about selling on Amazon. I've been doing it full time for over 6 years now. I guess I think it's 7 at this point. Yeah, been a lot of fun for sure. And yeah, let me know what you guys are running into so far, especially as we're getting into to Q4. A lot of last minute kind of opportunities. If you're curious on like what to sell right now, doing some pickup arbitrage is a really good thing to take advantage of. So looking for those items where you can place a pickup order today on those things that are starting to spike in price, certain Christmas presents and toys and all that kind of stuff. As those items sell out on Amazon and prices go up, you can just start placing pickup orders at like your local retail stores and stuff. Get going that way. And yeah, lots of fun stuff. Lots of short-term opportunities you can still take advantage of. What's up, Ed? You said, how do you start? Yeah, I mean, the bare basics of starting is buying and selling things that are already profitable and are already being shopped for on Amazon. So that's going to be name brand products typically. And usually that's going to be from like big retail websites, big retail stores, or eventually you can start buying from wholesalers and that kind of thing. Super short-term goal, if you want to like make some money on Amazon like this week, would be to get SellerAmp, start reverse sourcing people who are selling retail store brands via merchant fulfillment. That's a lot of like, I know it's a lot of like jargon and that kind of thing. It's kind of like the super basic way of looking at it. And if you want that more like explained in more detail, you can check out my YouTube channel. My most recent video is showing you how to do exactly that. It's like 10 or 11 minutes, show you exactly how to make some money on Amazon. Even if you haven't sold anything, you can still start making money before the year's over. Sweet. What do you do if you get section 3? Just submit your documents and go through the review process. It's totally normal. It's normal for Amazon to want to review sellers and make sure everyone on the platform is legit. So as long as you're not buying, fake stuff from China or buying from like wholesalers that are like suspiciously cheap and that kind of thing, as long as you're sticking to retail stores or big national wholesalers, retail websites, that kind of thing, those are obviously all legit suppliers. Just submit your documentation on that. Yeah, I know that was a big misconception. I think still is a very very popular one. A lot of people think you can't buy from websites and that kind of thing. As long as you're buying from big trustworthy websites, like how is Amazon going to say, hey, we think Walmart is selling fake items, right? Like you're not gonna run into many headaches there. Let's see, what if you accidentally bought from a fake website? I would probably remove that product and just not sell it anymore. If you already got a review on that, then good luck, unfortunately. But yeah, that's why you got to make sure you're sticking to legit suppliers and that kind of thing. As far as like knowing if wherever you're buying from is like, if you're like allowed to shop from there, or if it's even like legit, you can always check things like Trustpilot. If they have a PayPal checkout option, it's usually going to be legit because it's really easy to do, chargebacks and stuff if the items end up being weird or they don't even ship anything. Um, yeah. If you got banned or like you're going through review, don't make a new account. They'll just link them together, Zach. Do what you can to get that appealed, and hopefully not lesson learned the hard way. Is Target still good for ungating? Yeah, man. You can buy from any legit retail store, as long as, so if, let's say you want to sell, Gap clothing, right? If you want to sell Gap clothing on Amazon, buy it from Gap's website or Target.com or one of those, and then just make sure that you ship it to, or at least bill that order to, make the billing address the same as your Amazon account. Then you just submit that invoice, and you'll be rolling there. See, if you find a product and buy a 10 count on a website like Walmart or Kmart, does that count towards getting ungated? Yep, for sure. Let's see. Do you offer loans? I'm not. I'm not a bank or anything like that. So I am not. Loaning out money to random people on TikTok. I respect the ask. If you when you're starting, you only need like $1,000 or so. So a lot of us can probably put $1,000 into a business. If you can't, no worries. That was like all the money I had to my name when I started. So I started selling like used books and stuff that was like super cheap, and eventually used that money that I made, going to thrift stores and buying VCR players and all kinds of random stuff that sold for more stuff on Amazon and eBay and that kind of thing. And I used that money to start my Amazon reselling business. Yeah, for sure. What's the average profit timeline? Yeah, so the average product, if you buy it, it's a little bit different this time of year. You can make profit a lot faster this time of year because there's so many more items that are FBM eligible, so fulfilled by merchant, meaning you can just ship it direct to the customer when it sells. So that kind of speeds up the timeline. Just while the Amazon warehouses are so backed up and so busy, there's a lot of those gaps in the market where Amazon's basically saying, hey, we want this small third-party seller to go and ship direct to customer and kind of fill the gap in the market for us. In order to do that, usually you'll buy the item, it'll show up at your door, and you can ship it out same week or so, right? Usually I'm buying like a month of stock at a time. And that's kind of your payback period. If you're doing Amazon FBA, it'll usually take 2 to 3 weeks for things to check in at Amazon and start selling. And that's kind of the difference between FBA and FBM. But obviously with Amazon FBA, they're shipping everything to the customers for you. So that's like a big time saver. I do that pretty much all the rest of the year. Just because it's obviously more scalable. Ship it all into the warehouse. They take care of the customer service, that kind of thing. And yeah, it's kind of how I like to do it. Sweet. Lots of you guys hopping in here. So let me know what questions you guys got. Let's see. What's up, Wilson? You said, how did you go about selling used books? Yeah, I mean, used books is a lot of people's like first thing that they'll sell on Amazon just because it's really cheap. Most of them are ungated to sell in used condition right away. So I was just going to thrift stores and scanning them with like the Amazon Seller app or SellerAmp, and figuring out, what those sell for basically. Because, with used books, you can buy them for $1 at a thrift store. And if you find I used to find like nursing textbooks and like religious books and hobby books, like stuff about like the Wild West and trains and like kind of more like niche stuff can honestly sell for a good amount. Obviously, you don't want to do that for forever because how long do you really want to go to the thrift store and buy one book at a time? But that's how I was able to build up some initial money to start something bigger and better like what I do now, where we're buying things that are name brand, buying 100 of it at a time, 500 at a time, and just kind of getting the ball rolling from there. Let's see, where and how do you source? So I buy stuff from big websites. So, Walgreens.com, Walmart, Target, VitaCost, iHerb, all the websites like that kind of thing. I actually have a list of 100 places that I source inventory from. I've sold about $4 or $5 million from those 100 places. And the list is free. If you go up in my bio into the free course, that supplier list is in the free course. It's just in the Amazon Launchpad. If you guys are on YouTube, that's down below as well, or Instagram, it's in my bio as well. Sweet. Make sure I'm not missing any questions on Instagram here. Let's see. How do you get to 20K in sales? Yeah, so that's a good question. Let's say if your goal, that's just like a good goal setting question. We'll use 20K as an example, right? Let's say you want to sell 20K on Amazon. Typically, the way that $20,000 in sales is going to break down is it's going to be about 30% is going to be Amazon fees. So if you sold 20K, you paid about $6,000 to Amazon. Usually to sell 20 grand, you typically spent about $10,000. That's how it works for most reselling businesses. So about half of that revenue will go to cover your cost of goods sold, and then the last 20-ish% will be your gross profit margin. So that's how like a typical kind of revenue is going to break down. So you can kind of reverse engineer that too. So let's say your goal is to sell $100,000 over the course of a whole year on Amazon. That means over the course of that year, you need to spend $50,000 on products. It doesn't necessarily mean you need to have $50,000 in cash right now, because you can also consider that you're going to be reinvesting that money, right, and keeping the snowball rolling, that kind of thing. And that's kind of how you look at it there. Let's see. Can you look for an item with the UPC code? You accidentally deleted the. Yeah, you can search for items by UPC, whatever you got to do for sure. Sweet. Lots of you guys tuning in here. Appreciate everybody popping on in today. Let me know what other questions you guys have about selling on Amazon. Simple starting points as well. If you guys are like new to the game, trying to get started on Amazon, you can check out. I have a free course up in my bio, and there's also one down below if you guys are on YouTube. If you want to see how to source products, get ungated, get started on Amazon, all that kind of thing. Obviously, only so much I can show you in 20 minutes on a live stream, but would really check that out if you guys want some really good resource. About 50,000 people have started their Amazon business with that free course. Let's see, what's average margin on 100K? Yeah, usual gross margin is going to be 15 to 20% depending on the business. And then net margin's obviously lower than that. Typically anywhere from 10 to 15% depending on how much you have outsourced. Although I have seen some people who do 20, 25% net margin. Usually they're doing a lot of the work themselves that way. That's not how I run my business. I have a lot of people finding products and buying the products and shipping everything for me, and I'm fine to make less overall money doing a lot less hours in the business. That's kind of that's a your personal decision there. If you want to work really hard and make more money, you definitely can. If you want to work not as hard and make a little bit less, but a lot less time commitment, you can do that as well. Let's see, exposure is confusing. How about pay to ads? Yeah, so the way I sell on Amazon, and a lot of other people will, is you don't actually need to buy ads at all, right? Let me see, like I don't know if I have any products around me that I could grab as an example. Here's like a snack I was eating earlier, right? So let's say you want to sell this on Amazon. The listing for that is going to already exist, right? Because it's a Quaker name brand product. So your only goal is to buy those at about half the price that they're selling for on Amazon. And if you can do that between coupons or maybe wholesale discounts or clearance sales, any way you can get your hands on that discounted product, if you list it on that listing, you're naturally going to get sales shared between all the other people on that listing who have the same price and shipping speed. So usually that's going to mean everyone on that listing, whether they have one feedback or 100,000 feedback, if they shipped it to Amazon FBA and it's the same price, you're going to share equal sales. It's kind of the nice part about it's one of the really nice parts about selling on Amazon is the really big accounts don't really have much of an advantage over the tiny accounts when it comes to making sales on that listing. For sure. Do you only use one printer for labels? I use like a Rolo, something like that. Yeah, that'll work. For sure. Wholesale, no. So I do about 95, 99, honestly, recently more like 99% online arbitrage, which is going to, let's say, Walgreens.com, buying a bunch of stuff there and then flipping those products on Amazon. The easiest way to source products like that is to go into SellerAmp. It's the software you'll use for sourcing products. It's $20 a month. Load up some storefronts on SellerAmp and you'll see what brands they're selling, what their best products are, how much you need to pay for their products to be profitable, and just kind of compare that to maybe a website sale that's going on today and things like that, right? It's called reverse sourcing. Also, just good resources in terms of starting for sourcing products. You'll need SellerAmp as the software. And then if you guys want to use like an AI assistant that can help you source products, as well as automating feedback, shipping, supply, like supplier analytics, all that kind of stuff, you'll use Boxem. So Boxem and SellerAmp are the softwares that you want to grab. Let's see. You have Amazon's cut, warehousing. Yeah, Oscar, we were just talking about that. Yeah. So usually you'll pay about 30% of your revenue to Amazon. And yeah, it's pretty much the going rate in terms of fees there. It's going to be, shipping and all that kind of stuff, typically baked into that as well. Let's see. Yeah, you don't need that software, Oscar. That's for a completely different business model. Let's see. Can you play back the lives when they're done? I'm not actually sure, Samantha, but if you want to see stuff in more detail, I'd really just recommend checking out the YouTube channel. There's only so much I can convey when we're just talking, answering questions, that kind of thing. If you just look up Fields of Profit on YouTube, or there's also a free course up in my bio up there. Let's see. What's up? Appreciate you, Mark. Appreciate you. Say you're massively up late binging the stream there. Appreciate you, man. So up at 1:40 in the morning in your country. Let's see. What do you think is the best start to do on Amazon? For me, it's going to depend on how much money you have. If you have like $1,000 or less, I would start selling used books, build up, a couple grand, and then use that couple grand to start reselling products. If you already have a couple grand, then go to like a Walmart or a Ross or Marshalls or something like that today, like literally today. Use the SellerAmp app and just start scanning products. You'll be able to compare like, hey, it's $10 in store and it sells for 25 on Amazon. Or hey, this is $20 at Walmart, but it's only $10 on Amazon, right? It's not super profitable. So you're able to see all like the different kind of factors that go into it, basically. Let's see. When should you use a repricer? When you've got maybe 5 or 10 products, or if you're starting this business with a good amount of money, maybe even right away. Yeah, it's basically gonna like monitor your prices and stuff for you. For sure. Are you constantly thinking about the business? That is the curse and the joy of being an entrepreneur, running your own business, right? Is you're never technically on the clock, but you're also never technically off the clock. So that can drive some people crazy. That's why some people don't like running their own business. Is they want that ability to turn off the work brain at 5 p.m. and just be done for the day. And that's not what you get when you're running your own business. Obviously, when you get to turn your brain off at 5 p.m., you also don't get all the money that you make, right? You gotta, by definition, you're making your company more money than you're getting paid. Let's see. After you get approved for selling on Amazon, what's the next step? Find something to sell. Yeah, find something to sell, man. Just look up reverse sourcing or online arbitrage reverse sourcing on YouTube. You'll probably see a video from me. It shows you how to do that. What's the app called? Yeah, so SellerAmp is how you source products. And then Boxem is how you ship products, list products. It's also the AI assistant and feedback automation for your business. Yeah, so SellerAmp and Boxem. How to sell on an eBay compared to Amazon? Yeah, I would say pretty much every Amazon seller also has an eBay store, but it's more of like a backup marketplace. Just because obviously there's a lot less demand on eBay, and one of the big reasons to sell on Amazon is there's way more demand, and when you list products, you don't have to like take pictures and stuff like that like you do on eBay. You just list products on those listings that are already in demand and already sell well. It's your only goal as an Amazon reseller is to buy things for a lot less than they sell for on Amazon. Obviously easier said than done, but that's going to be, coupons and discounted gift cards and cash back and wholesale deals and all that kind of thing. There's tons of different ways to create profitable items. Let's see, what areas in the store should you go to? Yeah, as far as like doing some retail arbitrage, I like looking at like beauty and food. Pet supplies can be good. There's a lot of auto ungates in pet supplies. Really, anything can be profitable though. That's the big thing. Like I've been selling Amazon for 7 years, and I'll talk to someone who's making, and they're selling $1 million a year, selling something I've never even heard of, right? Like that's kind of the beauty of it. Lots of different kind of niches to fall into. Just to tell you if your product will sell. Yeah, so SellerAmp will show you exactly how fast the product's going to sell, and it's also going to show you what sellers on the listing are making sales. So you can go and say, hey, this listing has another seller with 5 feedback, and they got 20% of the sales last month. I bet I can do the exact same, right? So you just kind of look at the SellerAmp data, and you'll know how it goes there. Let's see. What do you think of some new brand gating we're seeing? A lot of that is previously auto ungated brands. I think they're just asking people for invoicing on that. But yeah, I mean, there's always been, ungating requests and that kind of thing. I'm not super worried about it beyond the normal. So as it said, you said you're a seasoned seller. So, I mean, you've seen this before too, if you've been a seasoned seller in terms of, just new brands requiring ungating processes, and I'm not super worried. For sure. I sell in the US market, RM. But I do know there's lots of awesome sellers who sell in the UK and that kind of thing. For any of you guys who are in Europe or have access to the European market, you can sell in like multiple of those markets. And I know some people, their entire business is, let's say they buy it from Germany and they send it to the UK, and then they also have a UK store, or sorry, they have like a France store that they're importing things from other countries and like kind of selling those things that are hard to get in that specific country and just importing it. What can you start with zero capital? Amazon's tough if you have literally no money. If you have 50 to 100 bucks you can put in, then just start buying like really cheap stuff to resell, both on Amazon and eBay. So that's what I did when I started. I was selling used books and VCR players and DVD players, like all kinds of random stuff that just got overpriced on Amazon or eBay. And yeah. Sweet. See what other questions you guys got here. Can you also do FBM? Yeah, you can do FBM and FBA on every listing, and you almost should. Yeah, you can hit those there. Is the SellerAmp right there? Double yes. So SellerAmp is how you source products. What if you have 30 grand to use? Yeah, that's very that's first of all, keep doing whatever you were doing to have 30 grand saved up. Good for you, man. But that's gonna mean it makes more sense for you to invest in things that like accelerate your growth, right? So more powerful softwares. It makes sense to invest in having someone teach you how to run the business for you, that kind of thing. Yeah, just like figure out every possible way that you can use money to save yourself time. So that's going to be software and having people educate you. Margins are bad. No, I mean, I shoot for 10% net margin. Yeah, which is pretty typical for Amazon sellers, and it's above pretty much every traditional retail business as well. A lot of Amazon sellers will have higher margins than that, but I prioritize trying to make as much money as possible for the hours that I work, rather than working a ton of hours and arbitrarily having higher profit margins, right? Yeah. Have you ever spoke about what software to use? Yeah, so SellerAmp for sourcing products, Boxem for listing, shipping, analytics, AI assistant. You can use the Boxem AI to help you like source some products and answer all your questions and that kind of thing. And beyond that, maybe a repricer. You probably want Keepa as well. If you got plenty of money to throw at everything, that'd be probably the 4 to get going with. Let's see. Private label. So I don't do any private label, man. So I'm solely reselling stuff on Amazon, selling stuff that already sells. So I don't have to mess with PPC ads or anything like that. How many people work for you? Through my Amazon business, I think we're at 6 right now. It's definitely a lot less the smaller team than I've had in the past, but just focused on trying to be as profitable and lean as possible. Yeah, so it's a small team of people who source the products. I have a team lead, and then a gal who just does all like the admin work, basically. So tracking down reimbursements and talking to Amazon and getting ungated, that kind of thing. Where do you advertise? Nowhere. You don't need to advertise if you're reselling. So for example, stuff that I like to buy is, let's say I buy some vitamins at VitaCost, right? When I do that, that listing's already going to have a listing on Amazon that sells well. So I'm just going to buy those, ship them into Amazon, and customers are already searching for that. My only goal as a reseller is to buy things cheaply. I don't need to worry about buying ads or driving traffic. Yeah. Let's see, if ungating's taking a while, what should you do? If it's taking 2 weeks, if it's taking 2 weeks for you to get like for them to review it, then open a case, or maybe you just open a new ungating request. That's a weird one. Usually you'll usually get your ungating request reviewed within like a day or two. Sometimes it's faster than that, depending on the brand. Is making UPC codes expensive? I'm not sure. You don't need to make UPC codes though. You only need to create UPC codes if you're creating your own brand and all that kind of stuff. So if you're doing private label, yeah. So if you're just reselling things, which is by far the better way to start selling on Amazon, private label can be good later down the road when you like really understand how Amazon works. But there's no reason to do that right away. For sure. Why no wholesale? It's just not something I enjoy doing. Yeah. I've enjoyed the process of scaling reselling to a few $1,000,000 a year. A lot of people would say that's crazy and they want to scale wholesale to a couple $1,000,000 a year, right? It's just a personal preference thing. You can make a ton of money doing lots of different things on the internet, right? That's the main thing I want to stress, right? Is like, I don't care what you guys do, just do something that makes money on your own. Don't be 100% dependent on the 9 to 5 and all that kind of stuff. I'm obviously here sharing what works for me, but if you got an idea you've been thinking about doing for a while, it makes you some money, like go for it. There's no reason not to. How long does Amazon take to approve your store? Usually like a few days. And then if you need to do like address verification, that can take like a week if they send you the postcard in the mail. For sure. Thoughts on WFS? Yeah, we sell stuff on Walmart too. Yeah. So I like it. We shipped in honestly a decent amount of stuff. I probably have the most stuff I've ever had at Walmart right now, kind of stocking up for the holidays on some different stuff. Let's see. Brands that are auto ungated are usually junk. I mean, that's not really true, man. Also, who cares like what you think about the brands, right? If the product's selling, if they're profitable, then sell them. Um, Plus, anything that allows you to apply to get ungated, just consider that ungated, because you can always just get ungated using the invoice for the profitable purchase. That's how I look at it. So my sourcing team has no idea what we are and are not gated for, because if we are gated, it doesn't matter. We'll just buy 10 units and submit that invoice. Like there's no reason to hold yourself back based on what's auto ungated and gated. The only thing you need to pay attention to is things that straight up don't let you apply. So that's going to be things like Nike or Lego. Those have not allowed new sellers to sell for like a few years at this point. So you just focus on stuff that does let you sell it. Yeah, luckily I've been still seeing lots of new sellers hopping on and finding success. For sure. What apps do you use? SellerAmp for sourcing, and then Boxem for basically everything else, tracking your profit, and an AI assistant for Amazon sellers, creating shipments, all that kind of stuff. You can try those free for 2 weeks as well. So that's kind of a, if you guys are like curious on this stuff, go get free trials of those 2 tools right now, and you can kind of start taking action and getting after it basically. Let's see. What's that man said? 800K a month at 21. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Yeah. So you were like 15 when I was getting started, and you're crushing it, man. Yeah, that's awesome. I think when I was 21, I was doing like 150K a month or so, or somewhere around there. Yeah, that's what's up, man. Keep it going there. I love it. Let's see. How much did you first invest? I started with like the $1,500 I made from my job in high school. That was all of the money to my name. And so I used that to start buying used books and selling those on Amazon. And eventually, after selling those for way too long, realized you can make a lot more money buying and selling name brand stuff. For sure. Friends with Miles. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, keep crushing, man. That's awesome. Let's see. What are you selling? Anything that sells? Short answer. This time of year, it's going to be a lot of things that people give or receive as Christmas gifts, right? So, toys, shoes, clothes, chocolates, makeup, that kind of thing is what I'm selling a lot of that type of stuff right now. And then in the new year, it'll be fairly similar on the most part, but I'll also probably start selling more like New Year's resolution type stuff. We're actually already stocking up on some of that, so that's like supplement and workout clothes and workout equipment, that kind of thing. Anything that falls under like New Year's resolution. You'll also notice in the first week of January that there's another like kind of decent sales bump from gift card season is how I like to look at it, right? Because everyone's getting Amazon gift cards and gift cards for all over the internet, or maybe they had something on their gift list and they didn't get it for Christmas, and like, all right, it's the new year, I'm going to buy it for myself, right? So we tend to see kind of the holiday rush even extend into the first little bit of January. So that's what I'll be focused on for the next little bit here. I think socks would be a good investment. I definitely sold a ton back in the day. I still sell some. It's like some random brands. But yeah, I don't really care what the product is, to be honest. I just care that the data looks good. As long as you're going to keep people happy. Let's see. How much is the training? So you can learn everything you can learn like a lot of the basics for free. So if you want a free course, there's a free course up here if you're on Instagram or TikTok, or go down the description if you're on Facebook or YouTube. And you can check out the free course there. Teach you how to like source, get ungated, all that kind of stuff. It's about 3 hours of free content and all that good stuff. Let's see. Is learning SellerAmp the best thing you can do as a beginner? Yeah, I mean, that's how you'll source products, right? So the only thing that makes your Amazon business money is buying and selling products, right? It's not, learning how to build like complicated bookkeeping systems and all this kind of like, high level advanced stuff. The only thing that makes you money is buying and selling products. I like to figure out a lot of the random details and that kind of stuff as I go, but main thing that matters is, buying and selling stuff ASAP. Sweet. How long did it take someone to get to $1 million a year in sales? I can think of a few people that especially like some FBA roadmap members who hit $1 million a year in their first year. Not at all typical results. That was not what I hit. very much like a high achieving goal. I have seen it done multiple times though. So if you have, the startup capital and, the work ethic to do it, you can do it in year one. I would say more realistically, doing $1 million a year is usually a year 2 or year 3 thing. Really just depends on how hard you're willing to work. Um, yeah. Like as soon as I started taking things a little more seriously, kind of doing it super part time, I was like 20 to 30 grand a month in revenue, reselling stuff as like a college kid. And I was like, all right, I want to double down on this. Started spending a lot more time. Like pretty much the majority of my free time after college and all that kind of stuff was working on that business. And I scaled it from 20K a month to 170,000 bucks a month, in about half a year. So as soon as you like really lock in and understand things, you can scale really quickly. The hardest part is getting your first $10,000 month though, right? Because to get that first $10,000 month, you're learning, what do I sell? What's profitable? What products are good? Like, how do I find things? To get from 10K to 100K a month, it's like, all right, I know what's good. Now I just need to repeat that and buy more stuff. That's, obviously it's a lot easier to scale than it is to get started and get that first, 5, 10K under your belt. How many products have you sold since you started the live? That's funny. Probably a few. I can pull up analytics just out of curiosity. Usually we sell like a couple hundred products a day, so probably a few things. I don't want to make anything up. Let me see. So far today, here I'll show the. I can't show anybody else, but I'll show the TikTok stream there if you guys are curious. That's today so far. So I'll definitely take that. We're about 5K in sales, about $1,700 in profit for everybody who's not on the TikTok stream I was just showing there. I don't know how much of that was since I started though, Turk. Sweet. It's probably a good place to wrap up for the day there. Try to hit the gym here. Appreciate all you guys tuning in. If you want to kind of learn all the basics, go up to my bio right here and take the free course that's up there. That'll show you how to source, get ungated. There's also a free Discord community. About 50,000 people have started with that free course there. Lots of successful Amazon sellers. So start learning everything for free. Get SellerAmp and Boxem in terms of the resources to actually like build the business, and just kind of get going from there. Spend some money on products as soon as you can, even if it's just $50 worth of stuff you can throw in and test the business. That's great. So appreciate all you guys tuning in, and I will